So welcome to Boxing Media Hub, proudly in partnership with Falcon Contracting and Jam's Boxing Chat. And we are bringing you some Monday vibes all the way from England and Sweden. And I've got myself, Jam and Hawkan with me. And we are going for the boxing review of the Boxer card this past Saturday, and who's next, as in the potential next opponents. What's next for these guys and girls? So, yeah, let's go for it. Let's get straight in, shall we? Do you know what? We'll rate the card at the end. Let's not ruin it too quick. Fran Hennessy versus Doretta Norek. What another great performance, to be fair.
By a tough fight, but she stood her ground and had a good go.
Do you know what though? She don't take easy fights, does Fran Hennessy. She likes to get in there. She likes to test herself, and she's learning the trade as she goes along. She's not tried to hide that fact at all. Yeah. What did you make of it, Jam?
I enjoyed it, mate. I love her come forward style. I think she's an absolute diamond in the making. I really do. I really enjoy Fran Hennessy's fighting style. She got clipped a few times, which is never good, but she's learning. She had like 4 fights, you know what I mean? Give her a chance to get to where she needs to be. I think she could be something very good for female British boxing. As to who she should fight next, there's not really that many options. I'd love to see her in with someone like Becky Firebomb Ferguson, a gatekeeper. I know she's up at super bant, so it's 4 pounds heavier, but so was Norek before that fight. You know what I mean? Or if you want to step up a real level, maybe Stevie Levy, who's just coming off a loss.
Yeah, this is it. They're all
be like a couple of fights.
Yeah, potential.
Or even Bet Connolly. If Bet Connolly wants to have one more go at someone, a prospect, get Bet Connolly in there. Always gives you a test.
100%. As you say, Gemma Rueg will jump around anyway. She'll do it. She'll do it, won't she? Let's be honest. I think Gemma Rueg just loves a fight. Hawkan, how do you see this one then? Fran Hennessy did the job. She did it well. Very calculated performance, but at the same time, a real tough test. Who would you like to see her in with? What did you make of it all?
Dorota Norek it's a very good, also very good test. I watched Dorota Norek live when she fought Stevie Levy at the GBM show, and that was a pretty close fight too. And Stevie won it, but not by that many rounds. So I think this was a good test. And for me, Stevie Levy at Super Bantam could be a good fight for Fran next. The other girls you names there, I think she need a better test than Becca Ferguson or Beck Connolly.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And I think, as you say, kind of Stevie's put herself very much in the mix there, isn't she? She's kind of proved herself again. She's back in that fold again. I think that would be a good test and a real good sort of domestic clash as well.
And she's coming off that loss. She's just lost to Tyson Gallagher, couldn't she? So she's going to want to get back on that horse and beat her name. And Fran Hennessy's a name because of who her dad is.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
So, SWS Boxing has put Stevie overlooked Norek. Who's next for Norek? As I say, there's the pool, really. There's a pool of fighters. Maybe she goes back to what she, wanted to do before.
The rematch of Stevie Levy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's see where it goes from there. Let's move on.
Yeah, Dan Aziz, Herhove Sepp.
What you going, Hawkan? We'll chuck this one at you first. A bit of an underwhelming performance by Dan Aziz, to say the least.
Yes, I was very disappointed with Dan Aziz. I had expected much better from Dan Aziz in his comeback fight after the loss to Joshua Buatsi. So for me, next for Dan Aziz could be Ben Whittaker. Next
That's
to
what
Dan
I
Aziz.
put. That's
Yeah,
what I've got no down. That's what
I
I'm
thought
thinking.
beforehand that Dan Aziz was too big step up for Ben Whittaker. But with this performance, I think it could be a good fight for Ben Whittaker next.
Do you think? Do you think though? With I'll put this to both of you. Do you think like with Dan Aziz? Do you think that was just an off night? Because it really wasn't Dan, was it? We're used to a real good technical boxing, masterclass at that British level. He does it so well. Even when he was going into the Buatsi fight, Dan was favourite for a lot of people. He was for me, we just seen a complete rewind.
Seems to me like his confidence has gone, Joel. Seems like that defeat to Buatsi has just took everything. He was Super Dan Aziz, and he relied on that confidence to be that Super Dan. And once he got beat, he's no longer Super Dan. Now he's just Dan. And he's not Dan the man. He's just Dan who cannot. You know what I mean? Because he showed that against Survey. He should have lost that fight. He did lose that fight, in my opinion.
He did lose it, and I think that's the mad thing, isn't it? That's the mad thing. He did lose it, and
the Croatian was harshly done to there.
Like Sam has said, Dan versus Spider or Ben. For me, I think Spider's further up the levels at the moment.
But he had a shocker last time, didn't he?
He did. But I still think based on
I was thinking Spider for Ben Whittaker's food, you know what I mean? To get a good name on his resume. Took Spider and Ben Whittaker next. A bit of an easy night's work after that performance last time.
Well,
you know what I mean?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We want to see more of Sepp. I don't know if I want to see more of him. I think we just saw levels, really. I think we just found out a lot of things that night. And unfortunately, Aziz was one of them. And this was supposed to be a tune-up for Aziz. I'm sorry, drawing to what looks like European opposition, but should have lost. Shows he's only showing British level at the moment. Dan had an off night. Don't forget Ezra Taylor.
Yeah, quality operator from Nottingham.
Lad
only young, like he's only starting out, but he's very good prospect.
He is calling Whittaker. We'll get into that. I think there's going to be a lot to come out of that fight more than any other. Just shows after 2 fights, Aziz's career, I don't know where he's heading, and it's not world level. Super will be back. He lost, but I don't know, mate. I don't know. I don't know. I maybe could have underestimated Sepp, the older guy, and he's gone in there thinking, I've just got to box my way. Sepp put a lot of pressure on him, and I think he I don't think he expected it. I think he wrote him off. I think the team overlooked it. I think
they need to run it back myself. I can't see Dan Aziz going anywhere unless he runs this back and puts this right. So for me,
and surely
as the next opponent, he has to fight him again, and if not, jump in with Whittaker, and he can be Whittaker's next bit of food.
Yeah, like Chris has said, should be the Sepp match rematch next. Dan beats Sepp in a rematch. Trust me.
I hope so, but after that performance, I can't see it.
Aziz versus Richards might make sense. Both lacking confidence. Well, Sepp won this fight. Not so sure I agree with that. So, yeah, there's a lot of questions around that one. Fair props to Sepp.
Should we move on to Isaac Chamberlain, Jack Massey?
Yeah, let's go for it. Hawkham, we'll chuck it at you. You've gone quiet. That's unlike you.
He's tired. He's had a long
What's your
I did predict Jack Massey KO, but I was happy that Jack Massey got this decision. Jack Massey fought Joseph Parker I was at that card at heavyweight, and I believe he thought Joseph Parker just that he didn't get any fights at the other cruisers in the UK, so he hadn't had any fights for a while. So so for me to step in with 4 weeks notice at a very good operator, Chamberlain, and to win the European title was the performance of the night by far.
Yeah. Best fight of the night, without a shadow of a doubt.
I thought Jack Massey was spot on. Me and Jam said this on the night. Really impressed with Jack Massey. He came out, he stuck to his game plan as well. He gave back what he got and more. Absolutely brilliant.
It was a perfect performance. Other than that one round where Chamberlain sort of had a bit of moments, but most of the fight was just dominated by Massey, in my opinion. The scores were close, obviously. I think I gave it Massey by 3 rounds, but he definitely was the winner, and the right man won. And as for the opponents, guys,
I had the fight even after 7-8 rounds, and then Massey for me took over in the last rounds.
Yeah, the championship round. That's what good fighters do, isn't it? But as for the next fighters for these guys to fight, I'd like to see Isaac Chamberlain against Robin Safar, Swedish fellow. That'd be a good fight, wouldn't it? See what he's got left. Or Masternak, the one who pushed Chris Phillips-Smith so far.
See, this is one. I'm glad you said it, Jam. I think Masternak
tough mud of
would be a really. I think he'd be really good for either of these guys. I think he really put the pressure on Phillips-Smith. It was only the fact that he broke down. His body basically broke down, and that was it. But yeah, I think that's a really good shout, mate. To be fair,
see what he's got left. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Masternak's no mug in the slightest. Quality operator, and he showed that night. It's just the body broke down and couldn't take any more.
Yeah, and as for Jack Massey, either the CBS fight, but I think CBS is going after Zerdo Ramirez because he wants to duck Jai Opetaia like the plague, or Richard Riakporhe coming off his loss, put him in with Jack Massey. See what happens between them, or Vidal Riley.
Yeah,
I think
Riley would be good.
I think that the poll, Sislak,
look in the obvious.
Is the mandatory now for the European. He vacated the European title cause of injury. So I think if he want to keep the European title, I think he has to fight Sislak next.
Yeah. That'd be a good fight. Sislak's a tough operator because he was meant to fight anyway, wasn't he? That was the original opponent. So,
like Chris said, Riley versus Chamberlain makes sense next. Both at the same level, simple as that. Massey versus Sislak. Not ready then. Masternak. Like we had there. Jams. Side note: are you in Birmingham on Saturday?
I can't make it now, Carl, mate. I can't make it. Sorry, pal. I wanted to. I was desperate to, but I can't. But I'm glad you got Darren his media accreditation. So bless up for that, mate. You're a star.
Yeah, no, top lad. You agree with me, Chris?
That's the first. Chris and Sammy agreeing.
God, the world's going to end.
And I agree with Chris. With Chamberlain, Riley would be a good fight.
Yeah, it'd be good for Riley. I'm not so good how it'd be for Chamberlain. But Riley will box his ears off, mate. Riley will just box his ears off.
I'm still not convinced by either of them. I'm just not. I'm not on the Vidal Riley bandwagon on this one.
I'm not, but he is very slick. But I don't know whether he can take a punch yet or what his jaw's like. Can he handle a punch from cruiserweight? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're big punches.
We're going to soon find out. I
know this is going to be a bold statement, but I think Vidal Riley would probably beat CBS because he'd outbox him.
I can't see it.
I think he probably would. I think not right now. I mean, down the line, obviously.
I think Massey beats both of them based on recent performances. Right.
I think Zerdo beats Chris Phillips-Smith. I think Zerdo beats him, and I think Jai Opetaia absolutely just destroys him.
Yeah. No, 100%, mate. Right, the one that the elephant in the room, as they say. Ben Whitaker versus
I
Ezra
said it was out there, Carl. I said
Aranyenka.
it was out there. I knew
Let's
that
get
I'd get
this
a
one done.
reaction. I played him like a fiddle.
Let's get this one done. Right. Jam, I'll let you go first because you're ready and raring for this one.
Yeah,
we obviously watched it together.
we did.
What let's break it down.
Big up, Ra.
Yeah, big up Ra. Amazing guy. Let's break this down. Ben Whitaker, what did you make of the performance of Ben Whitaker at first?
I found him quite boring, to be honest. We've seen it all before. There was nothing new, nothing exciting. He promised us a knockout. He said within 4. He didn't do absolutely bugger all, mate. He was too busy posing again. Yeah, he masterful won the fight. It was easy, but look at the opponent. Aranyenka was a joke. He talked himself into a fight he should never have been in. But Whitaker still couldn't get rid of him. So what does that say about Ben?
Caught him with some big shots, though, that he shouldn't have got hit with.
Still couldn't get him out of there. And still couldn't get. And nobody who's only ever fought in Africa, who literally had no skill set whatsoever. The guy was pedestrian, to say the least. I don't think Ben Whitaker's as great as people are making out. I think he believes he's so great, but I don't think he's that great, mate. So he's turned me off again.
Well, there you go. He's turned you on. He's turned you off. Horkan.
That's what he does, brother.
That's what he does. Horkan, what do you make of Whitaker?
I agree with Jam. I think in the last few fights, Ben Whitaker has been pretty boring to watch. So I was very disappointed by his performance.
Yeah. And I think the thing is, when you start out your career like Ben has, where you have this anticipation, you have this level to uphold, that you've come out, you're exciting, you're being flash, you're showing off your skill set as well. You know, we're not dissing the skill set here because it is skillful, but the arrogance has overruled the skill set. It's almost like the followers and the subscribers have become more important than putting on the display and getting the win how you should be getting it, as opposed to just trying to mentally break down your opponent to piss them off, basically. And to be fair, I think that's what he tried to belittle Ezra more than anything, because he knew it wound him up. So it's almost like he kept him in there. Yeah, he kept him in there to toy with him, to annoy him more, because he knew that that's the one thing Ezra really hated about.
Yeah, but he'll do that against the wrong guy one day, Joel, and get himself knocked clean out. That's the thing.
Jam, it ain't going to be long. It isn't going to be long. When you look at levels, and I don't just say it's about Ben Whitaker, I say it's about any fighter that puts himself on a pedestal, that thinks they're
invincible.
You will find that person that comes along
bigger and stronger.
Yeah, they test you.
Yeah. So who next for him? Who would you say? Who would you put in with him next? I'd say probably Spider Richards, coming off his last loss.
As you say,
that'd be a good step up.
I think. Yeah, you look at the likes of people like Dan Aziz, who may be a little bit static. Let's be honest. After that performance, he came across a bit
two fights without a win.
Spider's a really awkward one because he's rangy. He's
shocking against Willie Hutchinson, though.
Yeah, but I think you'd be game for what? Why not? If Ben Whitaker thinks he's that good, stick him in with Willie Hutchinson.
Oh, Willie would take his jaw off, mate. Willie would destroy him at the moment.
But
he's on a high.
But if we're talking about people are talking about the level of Ben Whitaker and the hype around the train. My son adores him. He said, "Oh yeah, he's going to take out this Ezra, no problem." I said, "It's going to be dull. It's going to be dull."
Yeah. Who next for Ezra Aranyenka? I'd chuck him in with Mickey Ellison. Let Mickey Ellison knock him out. Just show what level he's really at.
Do you know what? I think it'd be, like we said, Ezra Aranyenka versus the one that Ben Whitaker fought just before him.
Leon Willings.
I think
he'd be too good for Leon. I think Leon Willings would be too good for him, for Ezra.
I think it'd be a great fight. I'm just going to stick this up just for the sake of it. Love you, Ra.
I think if Ben Whittaker is that next one, I think Boxer had to have him as the main event in Birmingham region, Birmingham, Wolverhampton next against a really good opponent.
Yeah, it needs to be someone live who's coming to fight, because then Aaron Yenka was just trying to survive, wasn't he? After one round,
Yes.
he was just surviving.
From the moment he was in there, he was looking to survive, I think. And his win out of it is he didn't get stopped. That's the credit he takes from that fight, because there were moments in there where Ben could have done it, but he couldn't be bothered. It was really poor.
It was just really poor, mate. Yeah.
Whittaker needs a live opponent, full stop. He needs to leave Boxer, who cannot deliver the right fights, and go to Matchroom.
Yeah.
I think Whittaker joins Hearn in the future, to be honest. That'd be an absolute cream fest for Eddie Hearn.
I agree.
Disappointing night. Imagine the ring walks, blimey. Eddie Hearn would have more fireworks going off in his knickers. Drove 3 hours through London traffic to essentially see Chris Billam-Smith versus a Coley 2. 100% right, you nailed it. Whittaker's a poor man's Nassim Hamid with all his antics. I don't even think you can put him in the same bracket.
It's just different level, different world.
Nassim did it at world level. That's the difference.
Yeah, he had a right to do it, whereas Whittaker's not earned the right yet.
Whittaker to step up next, Aziz or Pitters at least.
Shaken Pitters could be a good fight.
That would be decent. I'd like that. That'd be a good test of his metal.
Ben Shalom thinks Joshua and Aziz from his stable probably best light heavies according to him. Time to stop talking and start fighting. 100% Carl. That showboating style only works if you've got concussive power in either hand, i.e. Jones Jr. or Hamid. 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Whittaker got the ability, but is playing around going to cost him, and I'll be there when it ends in tears, says Chris. One of our colleagues in Twitter said he's approaching his Kelly versus Avanesian moment very soon. Aaron Yeka
found out
should do what Prince Patel did, aim for the WBO Africa title. Maybe Whittaker is just running down his Boxer contract. Yeah, that fair shout on that one, Ra, actually. There's let us know in the comments for other people who you want to see Ben Whittaker in with next. Be a very interesting one. Let us know. Let's go for the main event. Chris Billam-Smith versus Richard Riakporhe, or Riak Snore.
As he should be now known, yeah.
Håkan, there was a lot of anticipation around this fight, wasn't there? We were going to get the rerun. Richard Riakporhe was telling us that this is going to be the fight. And then it was all going to, he was going to win it again. Richard Riakporhe was going to win the world title. It's going to be just as it was before. What did you make of it? Disappointed?
Yeah, very disappointed with Richard Riakporhe. I didn't expect this at all from him. So the fight, Chris Billam-Smith did well, but it was pretty boring to watch. The main event.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Going forward, I think for Chris Billam-Smith is a unification next, and Zurdo Ramirez is most likely what I believe.
Well, he wants Vegas, doesn't he? He said he wanted he to be, to his credit, he wanted, his dream is Vegas, wasn't it? But he doesn't want He went very quiet at the
He
end
didn't
of that
even answer
fight.
when they mentioned Jai Optaya. He went completely,
Yeah.
completely avoided. He zerdoed the question.
Yeah, and for Vegas, it could be just one of the small hall shows, small hotels that Matchroom had the card they had with this, Sky Nicholson was on. So not a big arena, and not a big card in Vegas, just a small hotel. I can imagine if they could have Bill and Smith in Vegas. No, he's not on that level. In the fans in US doesn't rate him at all. So
No, it'd have to be over here at the Vitality, wouldn't it? It'd have to be at the
they'd have to
Vitality
bring
Stadium here
Ramirez
and
over.
bring Zerdo here.
Yeah, they'd have to, because there's no way. Like Hawkins saying, there is no way he even fits the bill to be out there.
Most Americans are calling him Chris Boring Smith to me on X and stuff lately. Chris Boring
everyone
Smith.
wants Jai. Everyone, and I don't just say it because I'm probably the number one fan and I'd buy a duvet set if I could, but I literally, he is the one. No one else is interested. We were more interested in when we got Opataya versus Bradis 2. That was the fight that everyone wanted to see again. Other than that, it's poor. It's just really poor. It's a shame.
This division is poor, though, Joel, isn't it? The whole division. It's not just in Britain. The whole division is poor. You've got Zerdo, Opataya. Name another.
Should it?
There's
It
not many
shouldn't
good
be, though,
others.
because
Used to be a fascinating division with David Hay, Usyk, people like that, but now it's just boring, man.
It's awful.
It's full of react pause and Chris Billum Smiths.
Yeah, I would even put Jordan Thompson in.
I love Jordan,
React
but
Poor.
he's not a world beater. Let's be honest.
But I still think he'd beat React Poor.
Oh, I think he'd smash him to pieces, mate. I think Ellis Zorro would smash him to pieces at the minute on that performance.
Well, I don't know about that, mate.
Well, after that performance on Saturday, bloody hell, mate. I think my nana would do him with an handbag.
I would like to see, but I'm part of this because Robin Safar is from my part of Sweden, my part of Stockholm too, and I've been to a few fights in Sweden with him. I would like to see him with a good operator, and maybe Richard Riakpo could be a fight for Robin Safar.
I had Robin Safar. What about Isaac Chamberlain? You know, that could be a good fight for both, because it's a name for Safar to get over in the UK again and get some good reputation over here, which bigs up your fights. And if he beats Chamberlain, then maybe he gets a CBS fight, you know.
Well, this is it. I think we need to start. We've got to see a unification fight. We have to see a unification fight next. We have to, because
what about the Armenian? Is he still WBC champ? Noel McKellian. Is he still is he WBC champion or something?
Yeah, he was. He should have had a defense, but he was injured at the Don King show in Florida recently.
Yeah, so that'd be a good fight for CBS to get you like another belt, wouldn't it? Fight against him. You know, he's probably the weakest of the champions. Would you say?
I agree. That would be a good fight for CBS.
Yeah.
Optaya, Bradis, Massey, Ramirez all beat Billum Smith. So that's what Chris has had to say.
To clarify, when I said Vidal Riley earlier beat CBS, I was just playing to wind Carl up. You know that, don't you? I don't genuinely believe that Vidal Riley would beat CBS. You know I was just doing it. I said to you earlier, you'll get a reaction.
You'll be surprised if it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time.
Fan. I actually took CBS to beat Riakpur when not many people did. I picked CBS. I said on points as well.
I did
1-0 to Jambo.
Oh, he started.
I'm already scoring him up, Joel. I'm already scoring him up, pal.
But no, as I say, people, let us know in the comments what you see next for all of these fighters. Who do you give Fighter of the Night to, Jam?
Jack Massey.
Jack Massey. Hawkad?
Jack Massey, 100%.
Jack Massey. Yeah, he stole it. He stole it. Absolutely brilliant. And do you know what? Not too far behind Fran Hennessy. I thought
Thank
she
you,
was
Chris.
spot on. I thought she was spot on as well. She gave a good graft. She really gave it. Yeah, there you go, mate.
Get me a medal and a cookie. Can I get a glass
There
of
you
milk
go.
for that,
It
please,
just
Christopher?
it just wants the cookie.
That's it. Put the medal.
Nobody cares what's next. Oh, Carl, you're such a happy soul. Yeah, so there it is, people. What do we, before we go, score it out of 10? Jam, the whole card out of 10.
What, on the fights made or the performances of the fights made?
Just the whole card as a whole. What we got delivered on Saturday night. What do you give it
5
out
out
of
of
10?
10. 5 out of
5.
10. Just
Hawk
because
Hand?
Fran Hennessy won and because Jack Massey pulled off the upset. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it'd be a solid 2.
Fair enough. Hawkan out of 10.
The card that was expected with Walter Yard and Jonas Mayer rematch in a big pay-per-view card, and we got this, and the main event was very disappointed. So I will only give it 3 out of 10.
Whew.
That's fair.
Hawkan's out.
And that is mostly for what we expected this card.
Sorry, wrong one. I was just trying to
With
click on
those
Carl's
fights
comment. He gave it a 0.
mentioned that we didn't get on this card.
Yeah. No, 100%. Carl, come to
0.
London to cure your excessive euphoria. Yeah, like Carl has said, 0 out of 10. Chris Welch has put 2 out of 10, only for Massey. Massey's getting the praise. Right, it would have been -10, fella, if I'd been to London, mate. Yeah, this is true. Another boxer masterclass with a yawning face. Come north of Watford, Gapra, and live a little, mate. Even for stadium fight, underwhelming. I didn't think much of it, to be fair. I thought it was really, it just didn't even look like it was put together very well. I'm looking forward to my trip to Oakwell in August. See you in Brum on Saturday. So there we have it, people. You've had our points of view. Let us know in the comments what you give it out of 10, the whole card. Who's next for these guys and girls? Let us know in the comments. Hit the subscribe button. Check out the rest of the content when we're not live. Atmosphere as bad as Riyadh. To be fair, mate, I thought it was on Saturday. I'm not going to lie.
Probably worse. That was just on TV.
Yeah. And to be fair, you know, Turkey Al Sheikh was on his mobile most of the time. So apart from that, Jam, thank you very much for joining me as always. Hawkan, you absolutely boxing encyclopedia legend. And do you know what? Hawkan's going to see us out on this one.
Have some of this.
Have it.
Have it.
See you later.